Your boss asks you to take on something, and in the first 2 seconds, before they've even finished the sentence, you already know. Your team is at capacity. What they're describing would take 3 weeks, you don't have. You can see exactly what it will cost, and you say yes. Then you walk back to your team and figure out how to hand it to people who are already carrying a full load. In this video, I want to give you something better than that yes. 3 of them, actually. 3 ways to answer that keep you and your relationship intact and the work honest. I've taught this to tens of thousands of managers, in person and online, across every kind of organization. It's in the top 3 things that they ask me about every room, every year, every kind of workplace I've ever walked into. So if this is the one thing that keeps you up at night, you're in enormous company. Let's talk about the why this is hard, because most advice skips it. Your boss has power over your work, your budget, your review, and your next opportunity. That's real. The discomfort you feel is your real read on power difference, and it's accurate information. The manager who feels nothing in the moment, you're usually the ones who's missing something. So we're going to work with that information instead of around it. Now, here's the reframe that makes the whole thing easier. Most of the time, the thing standing in your way is the condition, not the work. The ask is usually reasonable. The timeline on top of everything your team is already carrying is what makes it impossible. Those are 2 separate things, right? So separate them, and now suddenly you have something to say. And there's a cost to the automatic yes that's worth naming out loud. When you accept something that you can't deliver, you pay for it with your team's evenings and with your own credibility. The bill arrives 8 weeks later when the thing slips up and everybody is surprised except you. So here's 3 ways to answer. 1, the trade. You accept it and you name what moves. This puts the choice back where it belongs with the person who owns the priorities. So you say, I can take that on, I can get it done by the 10th. The vendor review, though, would need to move to March. Which would you rather have first? Look at what that does, right? You said yes, you handed them a real decision made with real information. It was exactly what a good boss wants from you. About half of the time, they'll tell you the new thing can wait. They just didn't know what was sitting on top of it. 2, the condition. You accept and you name what it would take to make it possible. I can hit the 15th if I can put Marcus off the audit for 2 weeks. If Marcus stays where he is, the realistic date is the 30th. This one works when the obstacle is a resource that someone above you can actually move. You've turned a no into a request, and requests are far easier to say yes to. And then 3, it's the clean no, but with a route. Sometimes the answer is really no, so say it plainly, say it once, and then give them somewhere to go. I can't take that on, but my team is carrying a migration through the end of the quarter, and adding this would put that at risk. But what I can do is give you 2 days of prior's time to scope it so that it's ready to move in April. 3 parts, the decline, the reason, and the route, always end on what you can do. That's what keeps this a conversation about the work. However you answer, 3 things make this land well. Say it early. A no on a Tuesday is more useful, right? The same no at the deadline is a problem that you now created. Speed is what makes this survivable. Say it once, give your reason 1 time, and then step over. Over-explaining reads as negotiating with yourself, and it invites them to argue with your 4th reason instead of your 1st. Say what you can do. Every one of these ends with something that you can offer. That's the part that tells your boss that you're solving their problem, standing with them rather than defending your territory. And when they say no, right, to your no, because sometimes they will, and the thing simply has to happen, they say, oh, then you say, yep, I understand, I'll make it work, but I want to flag that the migration date is the risk, and I'll tell you the moment that I see it slipping. So you've committed and you've named the risk once, on the record calmly, and you promised an early warning, the most valuable thing that you can hand anyone above you. You have one of these conversations coming. Absolutely you do. Most managers do, most months. So pick the one that fits, right? The trade, the condition, or the clean no with the route. Write the sentence down before you walk into the meeting. Say it early. Here's what you'll find. The bosses worth working for will respond well to this. They're making decisions with whatever information reaches them, and most of the time no one tells them what a yes actually costs. So you become the one person who does. That's the manager they trust, and it's the manager you get to choose to be.